I don't need quantum physicists to tell me that there's no matter. Why don't I need those brilliant brains on the world to tell me that brilliant stuff that they've discovered with all their brilliant maths and their brilliant technologies and their brilliant machines? Why don't I need that? Why, to me, is that self-evident? Well, evidently because I am of a higher state of consciousness, and when you are a higher state of consciousness, all these things just seem to be so elementary to you. Why is the fact that there's no matter here so elementary to me? Well, because I just use my rational thought, and when I'm looking at things, I'm saying to myself, well, what are all these things? And I say, well, apparently they are these words. And I'm like, well, how can those things be these words? Words is words and things are things. And yet, what's happened, you see, people have amalgamated the words with the things. And so this is the greatest deception that the human being has ever perpetrated on itself. Because as I'm walking down the road, I'm looking at hedges and houses and lampposts and all different sorts of things like that. If I was a fool, then I'd be beguiled by the words, and I would think, oh, there's a lamppost there and it's a real thing. But if I look at the lamp post, then what am I saying? What am I kidding myself with? Two words, two concepts. Lamp, a lamp, well, that's very broad, isn't it? A lamp is, you know, a derivative, I suppose, the old days with a kerosene lamp or, oil lamp or something like that, something that emits light. And a post, well, a post is very broad in its descriptive nature also. But we settle at lamp post because, we can see that that's a lamp post. We just put two stupid sounds to it and we call it a thing, and we think it's a thing, and we accept that it's a thing, when in actual fact it isn't a thing. This isn't a thing. Take lamp post away, what is it? Take street light away, what is it? Take silver away, take tall away, take metal away, what is it? Nothing, people. Nothing. And so you can very, very quickly see that there is in actual fact no physical matter here. There is only concepts. So I don't need quantum physicists with all their brilliant brains and equipment to tell me that. Because it's just so elementary, it's so self-evident that the Buddhists discovered it thousands of years ago. They knew it thousands of years ago. And now it's kind of like, fucking hell, when are our brilliant brains on the world going to get up to speed with those fucking little weedy fucking men sitting in nappies? When is the world going to realise that really it is so fucking dumb? It is so fucking dumb, because even in the face of us now being told by our brilliant respected scientists that there's no physical matter here, we've been told this for 120 years, and yet we still continue as if there is, and we still talk as if there is, and we still deny what they've said. And we live in a paradox, people. People don't want to accept the paradox. How many people want to accept the paradoxical nature of the cosmos? That it is and it isn't. That it's yin and it's yang. It's on and it's off. And all these different sorts of variants. You see, if you take these concepts away, if you take the variants away, what have you got? Nothing, people. You've got nothing. And then I'm always saying, well, just take the scenario. If you can't get your heads around that, for fuck's sake, well, what about this one then? Right? When you dream at night, you're in your fucking dream, and you think everything's so fucking real. You think the pussy and arsehole that you're shagging is so fucking real. You think the monster that's chasing after you is so fucking real. And then you wake up and you go, oh, thank God that was only a dream. Oh, damn, I wish that wasn't a dream. And so, if you just copied and pasted that mental experience onto this mental experience, and you look at it like I've just been speaking about the concepts Well, you're just deluding yourselves. It's just mind, people. It's just mind playing with mind. That's all that's here. And you know, when you see these things so fucking clearly and so elementary, and nobody else around you seems to see it or get it, save a very few people, an obscure philosopher here and fucking there, and then you've got a few people like Donald Hoffman on the circuit, you know, trying to get through to the people that all they are doing effectively is like they're looking at like a computer screen and thinking that the computer screen is the world. When all the computer screen is a serving suggestion of data. It's a simplification. It's a creation of pictures and symbols and words and language and concepts which create the illusion. And if you think to yourselves, well, this screen is the computer, it's not the computer. It's just a thin two-dimensional film which is giving you the delusion that it's something there. There's nothing there. And then when you look for the essence of what is the fundamental premise of the information coming from that screen, then it's binary. It's zeros and ones. That's what the cosmos is supposed to consist of. Zeros and ones. What do zeros and ones represent? Energy. Energy in all the conglomerate of different forms. So we can see that we're just living in a dream, people. And you know, I've been saying this for years and years and years, and I've never ever had one single person that has wrote any decent comments down, or wants to talk to me about it, or wants to question what I'm saying. Not a single person. And it's like, well, you just haven't got a fucking clue what I'm saying. Either that, or every single one of you are in agreement because you get it. Well, of course. You're trying to teach us to chew gum, awake and brave. Of course we know it's a fucking dream. Of course we know it's Maya. Of course we know there's no physical matter here. Of course we know that there's nothing that we should even bother fucking worrying our pretty little minds with. Because it's all just a fucking dream, a fantasy. And so all those things that you think are precious to you, and you love them, and you hate them, and all this fucking shit, it's just part of the fantasy. But people, they can't go there. They don't want to go there. They've got no idea. They're all Bart Simpsons. They're all Bart Simpsons living in a two-dimensional state of consciousness. They don't have the intelligence of their own. They just have a program. This is a lamppost. This is a road. This is a car. Oh, okay, Marge. I've got to walk past that lamppost, Marge. And that's it. Period. Over. And so, when people like me think like this and see so clearly, and you don't have a single fucking word to say about it, what do you want me to think about you? What do you want me to think about you, people? I just think you are fucking no more intelligent than a turd that's going to be on this path. Nothing. There's nothing there. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything, you don't recognise anything, you don't compute anything, you don't intuit anything, nothing. And if you do, and you're just staring at the screen, another awake and brave genius video, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Are you thinking anything? I don't think you are. I seriously don't think you are. Because I've never met anybody that does. I lose everybody as soon as I open my fucking mouth. Why is that, people? What's going on? Very bizarre. So, evidently I'm an elitist. And why am I an elitist? And some people go, oh, he's an elitist. He thinks he's better than us. Oh, goodness me, where do I begin? Where do I begin with muppetry? Elitism, people, is when you strive for a higher standard that you currently have. And you will do everything in your power to climb up one more rung on the ladder of whatever it is you're doing. And So all the things that I've done in my life, I've always been climbing up the proverbial ladders, because I don't like to be sedentary, I don't like to be stagnant, I like to learn, I like to progress, I like to self-actualize. And when you do this, you look at all the shower of shit around you, and the vast majority of these people would never do that. They'd never even consider to do that in their lives. It's kind of like, well, why stand when you can sit? Why sit when you can fucking lay down? Why think when you can just fucking stare at the fucking wall? This is it. This is the majority of people. And so I look at that and I go, well, it's a very, very curious thing. Why is there such massive divergence in human consciousness? And then you go, aha! Well, we can't all be geniuses, because if we're all geniuses, then we'll all be pulling against each other. And nobody will be cleaning the toilets and packing the fucking chickens, would they? Okay, right, starting to get somewhere now. Well, this huge divergence of consciousness, which has bestowed the human being, it enables the human race to function. Because if you didn't have chicken packers and road sweepers and cashier girls and all that sort of thing, well, what the fuck would the brains do? Where would I get my food from? I mean, if we didn't have people that came out with chainsaws and cut up the fallen down trees, then we'd never be able to get through this path. And every year there's these trees that fall down and block the path. And sometimes they're there for about fucking 3 or 4 weeks, and you think, fuck's sake, have we not got fucking councils that tidy up the place? But it takes them that fucking long to come down with a chainsaw and clean the fucking place up. But if we didn't have those people, then there wouldn't be these tarmac paths. They'd all be overgrown, and every summertime all of this foliage, it impinges on the pathway, so you can only walk down about a 2-foot diameter pathway, and all these stingers and all these bushes and everything. And the council don't cut them because they say, well, because we're leaving it for the wildlife, but it's because they're saving money, of course. Because in the fucking graveyard, these cunts are cutting the fucking grass every second day. The grass can't even fucking stick its head up to get a fucking breather before it gets its head cut off again. And so you can see that there's kind of like rules for one area and rules for the other. Well, why are they so fucking persnickety about blades of grass around fucking tombstones, which, you know, often are like over 100 years old? No cunt ever goes to them in any case. Well, because somebody in their infinite wisdom, getting paid far too much in the council, thinks it's a good idea to keep that nice and pleasing to the eye, whereas walking up a path like this, you can have fucking trees falling over it for a fucking month, stinging nettles and everything like that, and people can hardly fucking pass. Why? Because the world's run by cunts, people. The world's run by cunts. So, elitism. You progress and you better yourselves. And so when I look at how the hierarchical system is of the world, well, it's a hierarchical system, and it has to be a hierarchical system. It absolutely has to be a hierarchical system. And at the top we have the farmers, and at the bottom we have the cattle, and then you've got in-betweeners, which are kind of like shepherds. You got a whole variety of shepherds, which we call politicians and police officers at varying levels, and all these different kind of personas, characters. And so they're all working for the man. They're all working for the farmers, people. The farmers own all the land. Yes, they own all the land. And they have jurisdiction over all the flocks. Yes, they have jurisdiction over all the flocks. So what's the fucking difference? George Orwell wrote a book, you know, I don't know, fucking 100 years ago now, something, called Animal Farm. And that Animal Farm is a classic because it depicts animals speaking and acting like human beings. And, you know, they very, very quickly form their own hierarchical system, which is identical to what the human beings form. And so, the world is perfect. And what are we doing? We're just playing parts. And what am I doing? Well, I'm having a human experience of whatever variety, and I'm an individuated shard of cosmic consciousness, and I'm doing whatever that individuated child of God, cosmic consciousness, set out to do. And any notion of so-called free will and autonomy and all the rest of it seriously has to be contemplated. Because if we know that everything else is a delusion, then surely it stands to reason that our autonomy and our freedom, free will, has to be a delusion as well. And if we enter into a dream, do we have free will in our dreams? We don't have free will in our dreams, people. The only time we ever have free will in a dream is if we become lucid. And the only time we may have free will in this dream is when we become awakened. You see the metaphors? When we become enlightened, we see the light, we awaken to the dream, and then maybe we can do something about it. And then maybe this is why I'm speaking like I am, and this is why the vast majority of people aren't speaking like I am, because they're still fast asleep, they're still fucking dreaming, whereas I have woken up to this particular dream, and I know it's a dream, and I can prove logically and rationally that it's a fucking dream. And so why does the cosmos allow a very, very select few of us to do that? What's all that about? Why does the cosmos set this scheme and this fucking scam to beguile and deceive and delude the vast majority of people, and only those with a spark of God consciousness can crack the nut? How do we get that shard of God consciousness? Does the cosmos give it to us? Can we say that we've earned it ourselves? Can we say that we broke through and out of the chains that we were all shackled within, and now we've sort of like got abreast of the game? We know what the game is now because of our autonomous selves. We've broke through of the delusion. Could we say that? Well, if we start saying things like that, we might be forgiven for thinking that we are really, really special, because there's very few of us that actually are winning in this game. We know the fucking rules now. We can see that it's all deception, it's all Maya. It's all a beguilement. And it keeps all these Bart Simpsons doing what Bart Simpson does, just entertains. They're all entertaining each other, aren't they? In their own quirky and pathetic way. Wow. That's all I can say, people. Wow. This thing is incredible. It's incredibly smart, incredibly genius, and the main genius quality that it has about it is the paradox. Everything is paradoxical, and so it's kind of like the Truman Show. That you know, if the Truman Show never had a door, because if the Truman Show never had a door, then he could never leave, and he may think, hang on, that Volkswagen Beetle, that's just fucking been by there. Within 1 minute 32 seconds it's going to come by again. And then what about that woman riding her bicycle with a basket on the front? She's going to come by another 25 seconds. And then lo and behold, those things happen, and then you go, okay, so I'm in a simulation. I'm in a fiction. Everybody around me is playing the game. Everybody knows except me. But then when you wake up and you know their game, well, their game has been foiled, and it's time to play a new game, isn't it? And then you work out what game you want to play, and then you can start playing a game with them. You can turn it around. So yeah, this is a variety of Truman Show. It's a Matrix. All these things that we've been seeing in movies. Intelligent people have put things together, and they've offered up fun serving suggestions of what this thing really is, or even if it's not fun serving suggestions, they kind of get in like uncannily close to the bone of what really is going on here, like the Matrix. are we really just brains in bodies in vats? Well, I don't think so. Why would we need a brain and a body to just live out a delusion? Because our energy is being extracted. Okay, well, the cosmos is full of energy. You can get donkeys on fucking treadmills that give you fucking energy, which will drive a turbine or something like that. So, it's just an idea. You can go on with all these ideas and, play with things, but that's just an interesting facet of it because it pertains to human beings being captivated. You see, this notion of the brain in the jar and some evil demon, feeding us a delusion, an illusion via our thoughts. I mean, this is hundreds of years old, probably thousands of years old. But people like René Descartes, around circa 1650, he started speaking about things like this. And then Bishop Berkeley, he was saying that consciousness collapses the way function. Even before fucking quantum physics. I mean, Bishop Berkeley, again, I think it was like 1600s, that sort of time period. And he already cottoned on that it's consciousness which is creating this dream. Because it's elementary, people. And when you've got decent thinking people, they say, well, look, anybody that's got this particular state of consciousness, we all conclude the same things. Why? Because we enter into this thin expanse of consciousness which has got all that information in. It's like people in the old days used to talk about the Akasha. The Hindu term for the information being in the ether. Well, we have a similar thing now. It's called Wi-Fi. All the information that man's ever known is all out there in the ether. Only we've got devices like this to receive it, and so we've got a device supposedly in here called the brain, which receives information from the ether via our intuition, by our telephone line to God. You see. So there's lots of ways in which we can look at this experience that we're having, but the paradox keeps us consuming ourselves. It keeps us eating our own tails. It keeps us going round and round in perpetual circles because you can't get out. Like the Truman Show, you can't get out. Jed McKenna did a video about Truman going out, finding the door, and he speculated that he walked straight back in because there's no way he could ever go out into that world, because he would find that world completely incomprehensible. Because as a 30-year-old man, he'd already been formed, and for him to go outside into that variety of world where he has to fend for himself and fight tooth and nail for every mouth of food he puts in, well, he's not got the tools for that. He never had the tools for that, and so he would have to go back in and continue to be Truman. What do you do when you gain enlightenment? You chop wood and carry water, ladies and gentlemen. And so that's it. And so what am I doing now with my enlightenment? Well, chopping wood and carrying water. I'm still believing in the dream. I have to believe in the dream. I have to believe that this is the body and it will atrophy and it will decay, because that's what I see all around me. And so there's certain parameters and rules to this dream, and if we don't adhere to them, then we're going to end up in a bad dream. So I don't want to end up in a bad dream. I want to keep this dream beautiful and positive. So what do? I buy into the dream and I work with the rules. So I make sure that this body is kept in its purest state. I make sure that the mind is always vital. I make sure that I keep my left and my right brain busy with music and logic and things like that. And I'm doing lots of wonderful things. I've emancipated myself from the Matrix. I've realised the Matrix, and I haven't chosen a red or blue pill. I've got one foot in each. Why? I'm like, why do you have to have one over the other? Why can't you have both? If it's all mind, it's all mind, people. So I can choose what I want to do. So I can be involved in the Matrix as much as it suits me, and then I can just be in a state of bliss and meditation, wandering around in ecstasy in the natural world also. So I'm doing all these things, and so that's what an enlightened being does. And this is why you can't communicate with me. This is why every one of you is terrified to speak with me, because when I speak like this, I am speaking from a different state and dimension of consciousness, aren't I? And some of you may have thought or think that you've heard things like this and you know it also, but you don't know it, you've just heard about it. I actually am it, and that's why I can speak so fluidly and so prolifically, and I can meander all around on 1,000 different tangents, and I can bring it back and I can go poof, fucking slam dunk, right at the end of the video. Slam dunk, motherfuckers. That's what an enlightened being does. So I'll just continue doing what I do, continue doing what the cosmos wants me to do, continue what I, God, want to do. I can't wish for anything more. Look at what's going on here. There's not a single person around. What the fuck? Is it Sunday today? I don't even know what day it is. Don't care. It's of no consequence to me. Days, weeks, months, hours, numbers are no consequence to me. I'm not interested in numbers. I'm cosmic God consciousness, having the illusion of a human experience. A self-realized God, man.